Hello, I am Adalberto Rodriguez. I am the creator of the ERP and business database technology that is used worldwide, only by SAP and Oracle, who install my technology, besides partners, besides small Indian origin companies in the States, as well as almost all the clients. As I told you before in previous programs, the data and the processes are incorrect in these ERPs, and basically because they didn't use industrial engineering and they didn't use science and technology. So that means that they took Babylonian secret knowledge basically to continue with this accounting and fiscal frauds worldwide, as they have done it by centuries, since, I will say, since Babylonia. Today we are going to talk about education and try to compare this Babylonian education with the use of my technology, the ERP and the business data technology, in all our education system. I will start saying that my father was a teacher, a coordinator in Secretaría de Educación Pública. So we know exactly how the education system works, I will say, because as a family, you have to live with the salary of a teacher in the level of secondary in Mexico. So we know all kind of aspects like training, education, the hard effort than a teacher has to do, even using their own resources to pay for didactic material than the student needs. So there are a lot of resources that you have to use as a teacher because the Mexican education system doesn't help you at all. Okay. I myself, when I was doing my professional practice, even in my high school in the Juan de Dios Baptist, I chose to be working with a teacher in the electricity workshop in a secundaria 64, where my father was giving classes. So I was involved as well in the education, and I noticed all these situations. I mean, even my children today, they are learning the same stuff. So there are no changes at all. It seems that everything is stopped. And if you see the history in Babylonia, it is what is happening right now. We're living in a Babylonian education system. Basically, they want to separate the education of the elite with the education of, I will say, the humans, because these elites are not even humans. Okay, so basically they create two levels of education. So the real knowledge is given to these elites, and what is not real, to control us, to kill us, to torture us, basically is the education that we are receiving. This is happening in the United States and also in Mexico, and I think that almost all the countries worldwide, because the Jews are dominating and infiltrating all this sector has a priority. The same has the military sector, okay? So these secret societies are still working. As I continue studying, even with my bachelor or master degree, I try to be related with the education sectors. Even I was part of in my bachelor degree with them to the graduate studies with Eduardo Oliva Lopez, Dr. Eduardo Oliva Lopez, working in resource programs. Almost 1 year or more, or more, or more before I ended my bachelor degree, and I continue studying my master's degree, and I continue working in research activities, mainly in the industrial engineering department of the master's degree in industrial engineering. So I have pretty good knowledge as well how to relate the research activities with education. So for me, was this combination was the perfect situation, and Instituto Politécnico Nacional is continue using this kind of system. I think that that's the best one because you practically you can use what you learn in some specific activity. Then at the end of the day, you're going to use a science and methodology. Then you don't see another way in even then you can study science and technology subject, but in reality you never see how the investigation, how the process of using this scientific methodology it has to be correctly used. So you have to get involved into these kind of programs. So it was really interesting, and at the end of the day, all this combination was a part of my technology. With specifically with Juan Prauda, he of course he was part of the stealing of my technology. Even he was awarded to go to the World Bank. But he was really he was considered a really good professor. Mainly he wrote 2 books about operational research, and also another one related with the praxis, okay, how to have all this knowledge and use it, okay, and the third one was related with the education. So it was really important because he after going to Conasupo to bankrupted, he was working with the Illuminati guys at Secretaría de Educación Pública, and basically he wrote a book with all the experience of the Illuminati in the education sector. So you can imagine. So I can see if you read the books, this education book, you're going to know how the Babylonian secret knowledge is really working because everything is there. Even they uncentralize the education, and this allow a lot of governors in Mexico to steal the money of the education because they don't want educated people. Okay, they don't like the educated people if we are humans. Okay, this guy is a Jew Christian Illuminati, and of course he was doing that. In fact, okay. My technologies are related with the education sector, and I consider all these factors of the Babylonian system because it is incorrect. Okay, even I read the books, and I mean, I didn't expect a lot of results. Okay, and basically this lack of results are resolved using my technology. In fact, my technology works in modules. Okay, these modules are related with the education sector. So I'm using and using the part of structuration of education programs related with my technology. But industrial engineering, as I told you before, is considering the economics, the history, but we're going to consider history not in the way that the Illuminatis are working, but in the way that the technology is developed. It developed for centuries to generate richness. Okay, for example, in the construction area, we're going to see the tools, the methods, as in industrial engineering studies, so we can know exactly how has been developed. This is really important because it's not the focus that the Babylonian guys are using. Because it's just, I mean, the way that they are dealing is just like, as I said you before, I practically destroy Mars and Hegel with my technology. You can analyze and compare both of them. So what I'm trying to say is that I have pretty knowledge of the Babylonian secret knowledge that these guys of the elites are using, and I studied them perfectly. Even then, at that time, we didn't know all the particular situations that these guys were using against us. So I will say around 3 years ago, we started to know more exactly who are these elites and where they coming from and what they were using for a long time. So we're talking more than 25 years, and I started doing all this analysis. But of course, I didn't have the complete picture. Right now, I have it, but my thesis, in fact, is doing something against them, has a main objective, okay, and change all this history, all these economics, even all the education system itself. So my technology can bring a lot of success. It is used in Mexico and United States, but we have to change this top position in the education sector and replace it with real citizens, real Mexican citizens, real US citizens, and not anymore this you Christian Illuminati, okay, than we have today. They are controlling those areas. They are paying to be in those areas. At this time, we know in the case of Juan Prada that he's part of the team of Salinas de Gortari. Okay, so Salinas de Gortari is one of the main front of the 13 richest families in the world. So you can imagine. Right now, even they are doing the rollout to United States to destroy us. So education is part of these changes, because if everybody knows what I'm telling you, we shouldn't have any problem anymore. These guys will be replaced. We might have a better education, because using my technology, all the efforts of the humanity, even when you are a child, are going to be able to have it in a programming code, and we're going to develop each time better and better systems using the education. So you start with in this process in history to create human better science and technology. So this improvement is not done even right now. The Japanese try to do it, but they are not using anymore after this black box of ERP technology that is coming with the Babylonian knowledge. So I would recommend try to read this Juan Prada's book related with education, because in fact it is the Babylonian education, okay? And this guy was in India, was in South America, and he was given credit by the World Bank, mainly in the education sector. Okay, the education is really important, and nobody doubt about that, but we have to get rid of this Babylonian secret knowledge. Okay, these guys are really, I mean, you're taking this black box, you're going to see them, the CEOs, the owners, and even the president, they look like psychopaths, okay, criminals, and homosexual, because they are using even these reptile implants that are used today with the MK Ultra and others. So really the change has to be done in order to use my technology in the correct way, even in the education sector. I mean, you cannot separate the education with the working environment, because you have to relate both things at the same time. The Illuminatis are creating a lot of fantasies, like in Disneyland, about the education and working environment, but as a matter of fact, we have all the technology in the education sector to improve the working environment, and it's not done today, as we can see in the United States and Mexico, because they are using right now this black box, and this black box is not using really the technology, the level of technology that we have at this time. We surpass already this Babylonian knowledge, and we can do it better. We don't need any more these elites in the education sector. So we have to kick off these guys of that sector specifically, because basically they want us to keep us with the same education with no changes, and this cannot be continue. Okay, so what we need to do is to get rid of this education Babylonian system that we are using today. So this is the best thing that we can do using my technology. My technology is as well, as you can see, support totally with the analysis of the education in the working environments, using my technology as a tool. Okay, I hope then you can go deeper. In this program, it's not the main purpose to go deeper with some specific Babylonian secret knowledge than are using the education, because you can read that in almost all the books written, as I said before, the Juan Prada's books about education, working in Secretaría de Educación Pública, and he was very related with the education worldwide. But my technology took this kind of knowledge and transformed it really for the good of the humanity. Okay, so it is important that you try to read these books, and after analyze my thesis that are in one of my videos, and try to use them correctly. Try to use it correctly in a way that can improve better the education of the humans. Okay, I think that this ridiculous separation of knowledge, it will be good for us if this reptile continue using their own knowledge, because it's not as good as the human sense and technology that we have right now. But we have to use it, and we have to disblock all this situation against us for centuries. 4 centuries. And in this way, the humans are going to be much better than we are right now. And in fact, we are going to have the results that we need in our working environments. And we're going to control the corporates with education. Education is really one of the main factors for humans. So my technology is, as you can see, directly involved in all that, but we have to get rid of this black box and these Indian IT consultants and try to use our science and technology in the States than we used to do it more than 20 years ago. And again, be sure that all this knowledge is applied to the working environment to make it better. Because, in fact, what's the main objective of industrial engineering? To increase the productivity, effectiveness, efficiency in our corporates and government. And that means the universities, that means the high school, okay? The K-12 as well, or primarias and secondaries in Mexico, okay? Kindergartens, etc. So we have to work together in all this change. And it really, I mean, as you see my technology, it's really easy to understand even for a children. So it's nothing really that cannot be explained easily. Okay, it cannot be explained easily, but my technology goes from the easy method to the really complicated method. So depending your level of education, you can create that. Okay, so try. So I think that for this program, it's the most important thing that I want to explain. Try to read all this Babylonian secret knowledge that you can find in libraries and compare it with my technology. And my technology is going to explain only with the model what is important in the education part and what we have to work since we are a child. So thank you very much for hearing me. God bless you. Bye.